What's going on, my fellow rocket-powered sound designers? In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at how to make this awesome laser bass that kind of sounds like Getter and Slushii and their whole like gang of awesome producers, and this is what it sounds like. It actually sounds like someone's taking a zipper on a jacket and just going like boop 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 beep boop. But it sounds pretty cool. If you guys like that sound, make sure you consider at whatever point in this video clicking that like button if you enjoy the sound, because it just helps me out. You have no idea. It actually helps me out get an idea of how many of you guys actually like the sound. You don't have to, but also if you're new here and you're not already subscribed, what the hell are you doing? We have Serum tutorials coming out every single weekend, or week, I shouldn't say weekend. So why are you missing out on that? Who wants to miss out? Let's go ahead and jump right into this sound. Now this sound, we're actually going to be using hella sawtooth waveforms. So we're going to start off with oscillator A, which is, our basic sawtooth at a 50% phase, inverted. This is what it sounds like, or I should say reversed or flipped. So what we're going to be doing here is we're actually going to be using FM for the big basses for the sound. So obviously we're going to turn on FM from B. The only thing is, why aren't we getting any frequencies? What is going on here? Oscillator B is not on. Silly. Let's turn on oscillator B. And as you can hear, FM, the frequency modulation, we're starting to intercept the signal from oscillator B, and here we are just kind of getting some fat FM. So obviously, since the sound is not out, I shouldn't say obviously, but since the sound is outputted through oscillator A, we do not necessarily want, we don't, sorry, the FM is being run through oscillator A. We don't want the sound being outputted through both oscillator A and oscillator B. So we're going to turn down oscillator B's level because we already have the FM running the signal from oscillator B. Pretty straightforward stuff here. And what we're going to be doing here is we're actually going to be turning on the sync. And this is really what's going to be creating that awesome laser sound. So as you can see, as we turn up the sync amount, more and more copies of this waveform are actually being introduced to the sound. I shouldn't say copies, more like cycles. It's having more cycles per one cycle of oscillator A, which is actually just like having, let's see, we have it at the amount of 4. That's just about 4 waveforms. So 4 cycles within one cycle, which is going to basically bring the octave up 4. Very kind of simple stuff here. So we're going to start it off right about here at around 4. That's actually perfect. Maybe a little bit higher. And we're going to start our modulation. We're going to be modulating this all the way up to this 100% mark here. So we can just drop it right on and it will automatically just start to bring it up. First things first, we're going to create our modulation shape. We're going to create a little something like this. It is 100% up to you. This is your sound, not mine. Because you guys are going to be the ones using this in your tracks because it is a dope sound, or you're just here to learn, which is totally cool too. This is what I did in my sound. Okay, not exactly something that we like to hear. That doesn't sound too good. So one thing that you might notice is, okay, I hear the laser part, but it just sounds so cluttered. What we're going to be doing to kind of declutter the sound and kind of clean it up a little bit is, one, we're going to turn the level all the way down, I know, but we're actually going to be modulating it. That way there's only volume for the parts of the sound that are important, right? That's the part where it's peaking at every point. Also, same for the FM. We're going to start off at a very low percentage here, and we're actually going to be turning it all the way up to about 60%. And finally, we're going to turn up the octave from oscillator A. And that's just going to give us a completely different tone, awesome harmonics into the sound, and just really kind of develop the sound further. Now, another thing that we're going to be doing is actually a little bit strange, especially for this lead kind of sound. What we're going to be doing here is we're going to be putting 16 voices onto each waveform. So we're going to turn that up all the way. Automatically, we notice right away it sounds actually smoother. And that's kind of what we're going for, but we need to make it sound cooler, not necessarily smoother. So one of the things that we like to do with the voices and kind of playing around with it is turn down the random phase here. Okay, we'll turn on for both oscillator A and oscillator B because we do want them to be consistent since we are running the FM from B. It's not as simple as just turning on from oscillator A because then we are also intercepting the frequencies from oscillator B, which does have voices in it, if that makes any sense to you. Oh, I gotta put this on trigger. So as you can hear, guys, completely weird sound. Still, we can do better. What we're gonna be doing is we're gonna turn up the detune on both oscillator A and oscillator B. And that's actually going to be our starting point. Alright, sounds kind of cool, but it does miss some stuff, which is going to be compensated for the filter and the multiband compressor. So let's jump right into the filter. Speaking of the filter, and we're actually going to be going to our flanges. We're going to go into our HL6 positive. And we're going to actually turn up the resonance to about, 70%. Because, see, the flanger filter... Oh yeah, we're also going to be turning up the filter variation. And as you can hear, we are kind of completely changing the tone of the sound. The flanger filter is actually great for that. All of them, as well as even sometimes the phaser filter and the ring mod filter. They can all kind of completely change the tone of your sound. And I hate to say it, the reverb filter as well, but it's actually great for this sound because one of the things we're going to be doing is we're going to be modulating the cutoff. One thing that you'll notice is it almost sounds as if we're completely changing the pitch of the sound. Just had to pause the video because I got called downstairs, but back to today's video, or the sound, the flanger filter, where were we? Okay, so the tone, it actually does add in a lot. As you can see, they're like almost little icicles hanging off. That sounds really cringy, but I know if we take a look at the EQ and we do the same thing, we will actually get a lot of different tones. If we just do a little spike in the EQ, boom, we get a completely new tone. Or I shouldn't say new tone, but it does add in more tones to the sound. So what we're going to be doing here is we're actually going to be turning up the drive a bit. And another thing that you guys might notice is it doesn't sound the same for every single note. It sounds kind of gross. It doesn't actually sound like we're even moving up the scale. It just sounds disgusting. So we're going to fix this by turning on our keyboard tracking. So what this is doing is it's basically taking whatever note that we're pressing on the keyboard and it's actually just applying that to the cutoff. And it's moving it by, for every note that we press, it's going to move up the cutoff by that interval. So what we're going to be doing here is we're actually going to be modulating the cutoff as well. We wanted to do that initially, but the keyboard tracking is going to allow us to move wherever we want on the keyboard, and it's going to hold true to that pitch. It's really a useful tool in Serum, one of the best tools in Serum in my opinion. So that's going to bring us right into the effects section. First things first, hyper and dimension, nothing too special here. You guys already know the drill if you follow around with my tutorials. It's a very low size and a decently high mix, around 31%. And that's going to take us to the compressor. We're going to turn on our multiband and just turn up that gain. Okay, I'm clipping a tad bit. Alrighty, that is starting to get somewhere. And this is basically the sound right here, but we want to add on an extra touch because a lot of modern dubstep is all revolved around having a very short delay onto your sound. So I shouldn't say revolved around it. I should say a lot of artists do add this touch to their basses. So what we're going to be doing here is we're going to turn off BPM sync, and then we're going to turn on our link. And basically the link is going to enable us to not only just move one of these, but it's going to move the second one along with it. Very useful because we don't want two different frequencies bouncing around on the stereo headphones. So we're going to just kind of leave this at. We need to turn up the mix and turn up the feedback. It actually sounds great. Turn that down a bit, or maybe a little bit quicker. That's all it takes. If you guys like that sound and you found it entertaining, boring, whatever, guys, drop a comment. Let me know how you think of this video. Don't just be like, oh, how do you make this bass? Because, oh my gosh, I get like 50 to 100 requests a day. That's why we have a form on our website if you want to fill that out. Because, guys, it's to the point where, like, I can't even just read the comments. As much as I'd like to help every single one of you out, because trust me, I all know your struggle. Trust me, I'm like 100% with you. That's why I created the form on the site. Basically, you just type in your artist and stuff that you want to recreate, and once I start to see that, oh, boom, a lot of people like to do this, or I check it out, it just makes it really handy. I could click the link, and a lot of times YouTube will actually take away your comment or will mark it into my spam folder because it sees a link and it's like, oh my gosh, this kid's trying to promote his own stuff, even though that's not even the case most of the time. So I don't even see the comment until I go into my spam folder. So that's kind of an issue in itself. Just to make things easy for you and for me, and to even get your sound heard, make sure you guys submit your form through our site, because that just makes it 100% more easier, more efficient, and everything else you want to do. So without further ado, my name is Shane Gregoire. I am going to be starting my own vlog channel, and I cannot wait to bring you guys along with me into my life, because boy oh boy do I have a lot of plans for the summer. Going into my senior year, and we are going to have a blast together. I love you guys so much, so I just kind of wanted to bring you guys to a bunch of giveaways for you. Stay tuned for that. We have a bunch of stuff planned. Anyways, without further ado, I have to keep saying this. My name is Shane Gregoire, and I will catch you guys in the next video.